Hey, I'm Patrick with Rowdy Restorations. Today, we're going to be back out at the Bos Farm Show that we went to at the end of July. This is going to be episode 2 from that show. There was a lot of good content at that show. I'm sorry I didn't get it out to you sooner. Just had a lot going on, and then we got caught up with Rand Tool, and I wanted to get those episodes out to you all. So I hope you enjoy this episode. And behind me, well, that's a little sneak peek to a upcoming episode that we're going to be having. So I hope you guys stay tuned to the channel to watch this one and enjoy the rest of the Bos Farm Show. Mostly stock, maybe not. Looks like the 70-20 tripped some bottoms and is having some issues getting them reset. Or, sorry, the 75-20. So now you notice all those big tractors that went down through there, they had what you call an on-land plow. Their tractors, they have to run up on the land and not in the furrow. And then the case and the Massey after it, you have to have those tractors drop down in the furrow. That's where it's at right there, guys. Nice Ford tractor too. I'd say he's got it figured out riding in the cab up there. This field has obstacles in it. Turning brakes, that's tricky when you got to get up out of the furrow. Now hopefully he's going to follow the furrow. I was going to say, one of these big tractors will come through and probably be able to straighten that out for the rest of the field. So the 7520 has a hydraulic reset plow on it, and they hit some hard ground down there at the beginning of the field and blew a hydraulic hose right off the bat. I've always wanted to find a 4 or 5 bottom plow like that to put behind my 4020 standard, because you just don't see a lot of them at shows. I've always thought it'd be cool. These guys out here scraping the bottoms off these plows. That's what made John Deere what it was. He developed that plow that would scour and clean better. So anyways, John Deere became what they were because he invented that plow by using a piece of an old saw blade and hammering it out into the right shape, and then it would clean itself. Prior to him making the plow out of a piece of steel like that, they were using like cast iron and stuff. Well, even the real early ones were wood. Could you imagine trying to plow this with wood? Here comes a white. You don't really see a lot of these out and around anymore. I caught the old boy running it off guard. He looked surprised when he saw me standing there. Well, it's the end of the day, so they brought out a little bit more modern technology to get the rest of this wheat straw up so they could go ahead and plow tomorrow this field. Tying the bale off now. Boom, there you go. All done. Check out the AOS that came in. It's got a 2-bottom plow hooked up behind it. It's Friday evening. We had a little bit of rain come through. As of right now, I don't think it's enough to mess up anything for tomorrow, but they're forecasting some rain for tomorrow, so we'll just have to see how it goes. All the unstyled guys are lined up out here, ready to go plowing some more tomorrow. And then we've got a, what's this one down here on the end? An A, looks like an A. They pulled some of the big dogs out today. Some of them they've pulled out. Some of them they've had running. Some of them were running and then have since quit running. It's a lot of work to keep up with all this stuff. It's really impressive just to even see them out. Definitely don't have many tractors like this back east. Look at this Altman Taylor 3060. That is a big piece of equipment right there. Now what's crazy is that's a 3060 because that's what it was rated for. It was rated for 30 horsepower on the drawbar and 60 on the belt. It says their operating RPM was 500 to 550 horsepower, or 500 to 550 RPM. It's a 4-cylinder, the 7-inch bore, and a 9-inch stroke. So it's 1,385 cubic inches in a 4-cylinder motor. That is unreal. It actually says there the belt burning kerosene is 75 horsepower and burning gas is 80 horsepower. And the drawbar is 58. So the drawbar was 58 horsepower. Interesting. So it's a little bit more than what that 3060 is. Typically that was the horsepower for the belt and the drawbar, or the drawbar and the belt. Hopefully they've got this one out running tomorrow. It's getting a little late for you guys to be able to see this stuff. Well, we kind of had a rain day here at the Bos Farm Show, but we went ahead and came over here to stop by the John Deere Pavilion since we were only 30 minutes away. Pretty cool. Fixing to go inside and check stuff out. They were actually having a sale at the store today, so that really hurt the wallet, but I haven't been here since '02, so there's a few things you can only buy in the store over there. But we'll go check out the inside now. That right there is what created the company.
I would take a picture of this. This is it's all the parts and everything.
Oh, geez, I didn't even realize that was a cutaway. Would you check that out? Check that out. Hopefully soon, maybe we'll show you the insides of these transmissions on the channel some. I've got 2 that I've got to work on. Got some other stuff we got to get done first, but I've got 2 transmissions we got to get in there and work on. That is really cool. Super cool. Man, look at the little John Deere 140 with a loader on it. That's cool. There's the Legos. Ollie has that skidder and that tractor. Skidder and the tractor are all in thousands of pieces now, but he does have them. They've got a nice D in here, early unstyled D. Got to see plenty of these plowing. That looks like that's probably a nickel hole. The hole's awful small right there. Got nice lugs on it. We'll probably be able to confirm by the serial number here. Some of the guys watching may even know more history of this tractor. It's got a subsoiler hooked up behind it. That's pretty cool. They got John Deere out walking around today. Gators and a big kids section today. And here is the Dane. So I'm pretty sure this is the only one that's fully restored. We were talking about this some at the show. Wendell Kelch is actually restoring another one right now, and they've been having to find a lot of parts and make a lot of stuff. So I mean, this is truly the first John Deere tractor. It actually bears their logo on there. Super cool. This is really the only place you can come see. They got a nice little thing here all about it. So it's actually an all-wheel drive tractor, which is pretty cool. It was priced at $1,500. Between 90 and 100 tractors were built in 1918 and 19. Something else, in March 18, John Deere acquired the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company. In And the addition of Waterloo Boy to the lineup. Joseph Dane's John Deere tractor was replaced as John Deere's primary tractor offering. There you go. Got a John Deere wide front here. A little combine inside here. People, they let you climb up inside it, get pictures. And they got some late model equipment over here on this side. Nice wheel loader and a 8RX. Check this out, they got the modern version of their new skid steers here. This one's got the full 6-way dozer blade on it. I haven't really spent much time in the Deere skid steers. I have a Cat skid steer that I run. Though they say the rear visibility on the Deere skid steers is much better, which would be a nice bonus. You can't see nothing out of the back of my Cat machine. But I'm not really in the market for a new one, so we'll just run what we got. But they are nice machines. And then check this out, they've got the old version of the skid steers. There you go. There's the information on that. I wouldn't mind finding an old John Deere skid steer to do up one day. Check out the guards that they have on here. Hang your head out the wrong way, not paying attention, and it gets squished under the loader arms. Look at the old Wisconsin engine in there. Pretty darn cool. Nice wheel loader in here too, man. Look at that thing. Got a little Mini X over there. Let the kids get up on and mess with. These are just a little bit more complicated than the ones we're messing with out at the show. Amazing pieces of equipment. Well, we were driving back over to the show, just following the GPS along, and stumbled upon this. I'm assuming this must be the Harvester Works. It's been so long since I've been here, I can't remember. Hey look, there's some Canadians out here in the yard eating the grass. But anyways, we're on the way back over to the show. It looks like the weather's broke, so there'll definitely be some thrashing going on today. I don't know, the plowing may have to wait till Sunday morning at the show, but we'll be back on the road. So the rain's made it a little bit tough out here plowing, especially on these unstyled tractors. We just got back from Moline. We ran up there to the pavilion to take a look around. Look at the size of that thing. I think a good way to describe these steam engines is majestic. They just sit there and run. They're so quiet. Listen to it get under a load from the sawmill. They had a Cat 60 hooked to the sawmill yesterday, and the guy said it was making it work for it pretty good. And that steam engine just runs it like nothing to it. Looks like they're rolling the log to cut the other side, or to cut the other edge. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they'll fire that thing up later. Big old Fairbanks Morris. Looks like they're working on it. They have quite a few of those big engines like that down at Florida Flywheelers they used to be part of. They have a snow engine down there too that's pretty amazing. I helped on it a little bit way back in the day. Didn't do a whole lot, but I did help them with it a little bit. They run a sawmill down there too if you guys are ever in Florida and want to go to a tractor show. He's literally rolling coal. Yeah. So muddy the wheels are slipping on these trip plows. I'd say if we were actually farming, we would just wait a day. Here's this D working with this 3-bottom that had the interesting rakes attached to it. See how they drag the soil a little bit there when it rolls over. Muddy soil is what these disc plows are meant for. They've got to be scoured up good, but they also used to use them in Florida for breaking palmettos. Nice unstyled G. Yeah, look how nice that D rakes this ground down compared to that. Unstyled G pulling a 3-bottom. Now you've got total change in technology. John Deere 4020 out here pulling the disc plow. Following him is another G. Fellow YouTuber, I guess you could say. They've got another channel, Chasing Russ. Go check them out. They came out here to the show to plow and have a good time. Look at that, just rakes it out as nice as can be. Hey, at least there's no dust today. trying to get this old Fairbanks running. There it goes. Got her fired up. Look at that. So they hooked that moline to it with the belt to spin it faster. They were trying to crank it by hand and they were having a hard time. Wild is that is 80 horsepower right there. Nowadays I got lawnmowers with 80 horsepower. Look at the size of that engine. And then you go over here even older to the steam engine. I'm not sure what size this one is. What size is this one?
65 horse.
65 horse, okay. Go bull gears. Now, I'm not tall by any stretch of imagination, but those wheels are taller than I am. Definitely got to be dedicated to these steam engines because this is not something that you just crank up, run for a little bit, and walk away from. You build a fire in this thing, and you've got to camp out with her until the fire's done. Very smooth running machines though. We'll run down this line here real quick. Here's a little John Deere BR. You can tell the difference on this. I kept calling Richards the BR because I wasn't paying attention, but see how the air stack sticks up and there's no guards for the fuel caps? This one does have the exhaust turned down like an orchard tractor would, but they also had stacks to run that up. This is a 1935 model. I really think John Deere missed the boat in not naming these a BS, because B standard tread, I don't know why they would go with BR, but anyways. Here's a Cat 60. They had this belted up to the sawmill over here on the first day. I didn't really get to get any footage of it running. They were out plowing, and now at this point I'm really glad I got the footage of them plowing when I did, because the unstyled tractors weren't really able to do much today on the steel wheels with all the rain we got this morning. But that is a big piece of equipment right there. Look at how the jugs are all separated. Every cylinder's separate. You can see light through it. Big old belt pulley on the back. Check out the old logo. Super cool. The Rumley oil pool. I don't know a whole lot about these prairie tractors. They're big. They've got a lot of exposed parts on their engines, which are really cool. I love seeing them run. Look at those cleats, man. Now that is a serious cleat right there for the wheels. And then it's got those big old things bolted on. That's pretty cool. They didn't have a whole lot of prairie tractors in my part of the country where I'm from, so I never really got to spend any time around them. So therefore, I never really learned a whole lot about them. Now this thing here, look at that. So this is a 4-cylinder opposed motor. Let me slide this camera up here for you. You got 2 cylinders come out the back and 2 cylinders come out the front. Man, that is wild. Check out the big magneto up there. Big old radiator cooling tower on the front. And the Rumley oil pool. It's got a big old clutch on this side. And its motor, yeah, it's positioned to where it all faces back. Look at the, looks like it's a massive 2-cylinder motor in it. Maybe one day we'll get up here and spend a little bit more time around this stuff. Learn a little bit more about it. Here's a little Cat D2. That's a nice little machine. It's got a pony start. Little 2-cylinder motor on the back here to start the diesel motor on the front. Here's the serial number here for all you Cat guys. 6U3907. Pretty cool machine. Or maybe that's a 5U3907 actually. So it's got matching numbers. There's a LP Minneapolis Moline. Here's some kind of little doodle bug.
It's a Chevy.
Yeah, it is. It's got a, so that probably would have been built out of a Chevy chassis. And there's a little tow truck, early Ford. That's one thing I will say about these prairie tractors that's cool. Look at how massive they are. Makes the 250 Big Red's not exactly a big machine anyways, but it sure makes it look tiny. This might have that same setup on its motor. 4-cylinder, opposed, 2 out the front, and 2 cylinders out the back. These wheels, I can just barely touch the top of them wheels. Unreal. No electric start. This lever right here is how you would crank this tractor. You'd engage it into that notch right there, and then just pull down on it, get it in the right spot, and off she goes. When they're running right, that is. Let's see here. 1920. It's a 4080 model 4080, so it's rated for 40 on the drawbar and 80 on the belt. 7 3/4 bore by 8-inch stroke, 1500 cubic inch. This is one of Chuck's tractors here. There might be some guys interested in that serial number. There you are. Pause it, zoom in on it. It's McCormick W4. So that was the standard tractor. That international, well, I guess it was a McCormick. It was kind of before McCormick Deering, and then Farmall, and then IH, and now Case IH. They've merged a lot along the way. This is a Minneapolis with a cross mount motor. Here's another one. Brumley oil pool. Model G. Let's see, it was rated for 30 on the, I guess that'd have been 30 on the belt and 20 on the drawbar. 8-inch bore and 10-inch stroke. 2-cylinder motor. Big old thing.
It's
Here's
big.
another.
It's big, but it's got a tiny control station.
Yeah, this one does. This one, he's right about that. Look at the relatively small platform on this one compared to the machine. Now that is a very interesting looking motor in that one too. Let's go over here and scope this out. Like I said, I don't know squat about these prairie tractors. Is that a giant single cylinder? It looks like it might be. It looks like this thing is a giant single cylinder motor.
It's big for a single cylinder.
It is big.
Are you sure about that?
Nope. Yep. Giant single cylinder motor. Wow. There again, look at that flywheel. That flywheel must be 3 or 4. That flywheel is nearly 4 foot across. They had this one out here running. Then we saw this one out in the field working the other day. Let's wander down here, see what else we got. It's Kevin Boss's Lands combine with the bagger on the side of it. It's got a diesel power unit on it here. Pretty special piece right there. Got footage of this guy out there working in the field.
AR.
Yep, this is a styled AR with a swather on it, so that'll cut the wheat down and leave it in a swath. Here's a Hart Par. So this is the early Oliver stuff here. Hart Par later went on to become Oliver.
Big tractor also.
Here's a Avery 1428. So is this another? Yep, this is another one of their 4-cylinder opposed setups. This one's been done up. See, it has a bigger operator station than that other one we just looked at. Here you go. For the Prairie Tractor guys. Serial number there.
It's not so oil cans.
Check out the steering wheel. Some of this stuff they put so much more effort into back in the day than what they do on stuff now. And meanwhile, this one hardly has anywhere to stand. Fall right off it, no problem at all. No fenders. That's crazy. Another monster motor. Looks like maybe 2-cylinder. Yep. Giant 2-cylinder motor. Giant 2-cylinder motor, and the pistons face the back, and the valve train and everything is right back here next to the operator. Here's your clutch. The wood friction material in there for the brake. Wild. Same deal right here. There's another sort of brake mechanism right here. Wood friction material on it. This one's got worm gear right there for the steering, and then chains running to the front. Yeah, see, takes in it, gathers it up, and it puts the string around it, and the machine ties a knot in it right there. And then they'll take these bundles back to the threshing machine and thresh them.
Some spots, the machine didn't tie.
Yep.
See, like right there.
Yep, right there it missed a knot. Here in the back corner, they got the modern equipment, so when we get done threshing all this stuff by hand, we can drop it off in the loading auger there and pull that little grain cart. Pull up over there, bud. Yeah, look at the size difference here on your tractors and your grain cart that they use in the modern farming. Look at that thing. I mean, you're talking about tires that are as tall as these prairie tractors that we were talking about, and that's not necessarily a huge grain cart. They've got even bigger ones now, I'm pretty sure. $9570R pulling it. Definitely running big equipment now so they can get more acres done in less time with less people. Well, they got it running. Is it doing the job? A 4-cylinder Wisconsin powering the combine, and it's a very clean original Minneapolis Moline combine being pulled by a Minneapolis Moline. day here at the show. It's Sunday afternoon now, and they've got everything out working now. A lot of the equipment's gone home though. Some of these guys travel real far, like myself. I need to get on the road here in a few minutes, but trying to get as much of this as we can. Always something when you're running this old equipment. That thing just broke loose, and he was trying to get moved up to the cart to unload, and now it's flat. But the cool thing is the cart's moved. I think those 5-roller 40/20s and 430 crawlers look pretty darn cool. 420. They're trying to get dialed in here. They don't normally, they don't run this stuff with each other all the time like this, so he's got to get his gears right on the cart to not go too fast and outrun the combine, but then can't go too slow. Cart sure does a nice job. Dumping it over here into the gravity wagon, and then off in the distance over there they've got a modern day cart with an auger to fill it up into that cart, take it off and put it in a bin somewhere. I thought pivot into a ride along here in the most modern piece of equipment at the show that's working. And it has air conditioning, so this is a nice bonus. this machine would normally be able to do all this in one operation on its own.
Yeah.
But since the swather is out here being demonstrated,
And that broke.
yeah, and
With the pickup.
the pickup combine broke. Well, the tire went flat on it. That's why they call it farming, right? What size heads do you guys run here now?
This show?
Well, like on the combines around here now, what are they running?
A small head would be a 30.
A 30.
A lot of guys run 45.
Yeah, up to 45s. Aren't they making like a 53 now?
There is a over 50, yeah.
That's wild. To keep track of out in front of you.
It is, but it doesn't by itself anyway.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And we were talking about swathers. A lot of recent, like up in Canada, use swathers. They'll take a 40-foot swather, put two together,
oh,
and then they can combine 80 foot.
Okay.
Because the wheat up there isn't 120 bushels an acre.
Right, right.
So them, they're just looking at volumes of acres. So they can run two swaths into one, run it up in a pickup head on a X9.
Yeah, that's like if you watch Welkers. I mean, they're practically having to put their heads down into the dirt to get everything off the crop.
Get it picked up.
Yeah. Well, that'll be it from the Bos Farm Show. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. We're going to be eastbound and down here in a little bit. Got to get part way back home tonight, then the rest of the way tomorrow. Stay tuned to the channel. Hopefully we'll have some more content like this coming to you soon.